There's a place on Earth where they say, when you look down, you're staring straight into hell. A silent hole, hidden deep in the frozen north of Russia. The wind never stops howling there, and the ground itself feels like it's hiding something humanity was never meant to find. More than half a century ago, while America and the Soviet Union were racing toward the stars, a small group of men decided to go the opposite direction. They didn't reach for the heavens, they dug into the earth. They wanted to know what lies beneath our feet, what secrets hide beneath the crust of our own planet. Could there really be something living down there? Or maybe something waiting? The journey began in 1970. For 24 years, the drill bit kept spinning until it reached over 12 kilometers deep, farther than anyone had ever gone before, deeper than the Mariana Trench itself. But the deeper they went, the stranger things became. The temperature soared far beyond their expectations, nearly 180 degrees Celsius. The rocks twisted and shifted like molten plastic. And then they found water. Water trapped miles below the surface, where no water should exist. Even more shocking, microscopic fossils, buried for over 2 billion years. Yet what terrified the world wasn't what they found. It was what they heard. One night, amid the roaring of the drill, came a sound like screaming. Thousands of voices echoing from the dark below. The recording spread across the world. People called it the well to hell. Soon after, the site was sealed shut, the hole welded closed, the land abandoned. But decades later, the rumors never died. Some still believe that beneath that frozen Russian soil lies more than just rock and fire. Beneath it may rest the deepest secret of humankind. Tonight, we open that gate once more, not with drills or machines, but through its story. The story of the deepest hole ever made by man. A place where science, faith, and fear all collide. And by the end of this video, you'll have to decide for yourself. Was it a triumph of human knowledge or a warning from hell itself? There's a place on Earth where they say, when you look down, you're staring straight into hell. A silent hole, hidden in the frozen wilderness of northern Russia. The wind never stops howling there. The air feels heavy, as if the ground itself remembers what lies beneath. It began as a simple question. How deep can we go? More than half a century ago, while America and the Soviet Union were racing toward the stars, a small team of Soviet scientists decided to go the other way. They didn't reach for the heavens. They dug into the earth because they believed, to understand the universe, we must first understand our own planet. The year was 1970. The place, the Kola Peninsula, above the Arctic Circle. Their goal was simple, but insane: to pierce through the Earth's crust, to reach the boundary where rock meets mantle, a region called the Moho. For the Soviets, it wasn't just about science. It was pride. Another way to outdo the Americans, who had tried something similar, the Project Mohole, but failed and ran out of funding. So the Soviets took over the race, a race beneath the Earth. Deep in the tundra, drilling rigs roared to life. Engineers worked around the clock, driving a spiral of steel, ever downward, chasing the secrets hidden under our feet. For decades, the drill bit kept turning. It reached 6 kilometers, then 8, then 10. By 1989, it had gone deeper than any human creation in history. 12,262 meters, or over 7.6 miles straight down. To put that into perspective, if you drop the world's tallest mountain, Mount Everest, into this hole, it would still disappear beneath the surface. The Kola Superdeep Borehole became known as the deepest hole ever made by man. A window, not into space, but into the very heart of our planet. And yet, the deeper they went, the stranger things became. The temperature below was supposed to be around 100 degrees Celsius, but readings showed nearly 180 degrees Celsius, enough to melt equipment and warp steel. The rocks behaved like plastic, bending under pressure. It was as if the Earth itself was resisting them. Still, discoveries poured in. They found water trapped inside cracks miles below the surface, water that shouldn't even exist there. They found microscopic fossils, remains of plankton, more than 2 billion years old, encased in rock that had never seen sunlight. Every new layer told a story older than humanity itself. And for a moment, it felt like science was winning the race. But then came the rumors. The workers began to whisper that sometimes, when the drills fell silent, They could still hear sounds, faint echoes rising from the deep. It started as murmurs, then screams. The story spread like wildfire. A supposed audio recording leaked out, thousands of voices crying out in agony, as if the drill had broken through the gates of hell itself. Newspapers called it the well to hell. Preachers said the Soviets had disturbed the underworld. Scientists denied everything. But by then, it didn't matter. The world had already decided what it wanted to believe. In 1994, the drilling stopped. The machinery was dismantled. The site was sealed shut, welded and abandoned to the snow. Today, the hole remains closed, but the legend lives on. Some say the screams were just radio interference. Others claim they were proof that hell isn't somewhere beyond the stars, but right beneath our feet. Either way, one truth remains, even after all these years. Humanity has barely scratched the surface of its own planet. The Kola borehole went only 0.2% of the way to Earth's center, yet it revealed more mysteries than answers. So tell me, if you had the chance to go down there, to descend into the darkness, past the screaming rock and boiling air, would you? Would you be the one to step into the unknown and see what waits at the bottom of the world? Would you dare to go down there, into the darkness, to see what waits beneath? That question still haunts scientists today. Because for all our rockets, satellites, and telescopes, we've only touched the skin of our own planet. We dream of reaching Mars, yet we've never even reached Earth's mantle. And that is where this strange story truly begins. The Kola Superdeep Borehole wasn't born out of curiosity alone. It was a weapon of pride, forged during one of the most intense rivalries in human history, the Cold War. In the 1960s, the world watched the United States and the Soviet Union race into space, rockets piercing the clouds, men walking on the moon. But behind the headlines, another race was quietly unfolding, not upward, but downward. The Americans called their attempt Project Mohole. Their goal was ambitious, to drill through the ocean floor off the coast of Mexico and reach the Moho discontinuity, that mysterious boundary between Earth's crust and its mantle. If they could sample it, they might uncover how the planet itself was formed. For a moment, the dream seemed possible. Their drill reached nearly 180 meters below the seabed, an incredible feat for its time. But within 5 years, the funding dried up, politics took over, and Project Mohole was shut down. And somewhere in Moscow, a group of Soviet scientists smiled. They saw their chance. In 1970, the Soviets launched their own mission, the Kola Superdeep Borehole project, under the banner of pure science, but driven by the same unspoken motive, to go where no American had gone. The facility rose from the tundra like a metal beast, miles of cable, towers of steel, frozen wind cutting through the scaffolds. Day and night the drill turned, every inch a victory, every fracture a new question. What they discovered changed geology forever. The boundary scientists had expected to find the clear transition from granite to basalt wasn't there. The seismic data everyone trusted for decades was wrong. The Earth, it turned out, was far more complex than textbooks had claimed. Then came the discovery of water, trapped inside the rocks 4 kilometers down, locked away for eons. Not from rainfall, not from the surface, but created when hydrogen and oxygen atoms inside the minerals fused under unimaginable pressure. It was the kind of discovery that forces science to rewrite itself. And just when they thought they'd seen it all, they found the fossils. Microscopic shells of plankton, sealed in rock that predated complex life. Proof that even the deepest layers of our planet once carried the echo of life. But progress came at a price. The deeper they drilled, the more the Earth fought back. The heat was unbearable. Equipment warped, steel twisted like taffy. At 12 kilometers, the temperature reached 356 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cook a human in minutes. It was as if the planet itself was warning them, go no further. Some scientists believed it was time to stop. Others, driven by ambition, wanted to push deeper, but the machinery could no longer take it. The drill shafts cracked, the sensors failed, and the project, after 2 decades of struggle, was finally shut down. What remained was a hole, just 23 centimeters wide, yet deep enough to swallow every answer we thought we knew. Decades later, when rumors of the well to hell spread, Many of the scientists who had worked there couldn't help but smile in disbelief. There had been no screams, no devils, no hellfire rising from the pit. But perhaps, in a way, the myth wasn't entirely wrong, because what they uncovered down there wasn't just rock and heat. It was a mirror, a reflection of our own desire to dig into the unknown, no matter the cost. We look up to the stars for answers, but maybe the greatest mystery still lies beneath our feet. The story of the Kola Superdeep Borehole isn't about hell. It's about curiosity. It's about obsession and the fine, dangerous line between exploration and hubris. Because sometimes, when we dig too deep, what we find staring back isn't the devil at all. It's ourselves. We look up to the heavens, seeking answers about the universe. But as we stared down into that hole, we learned something else. The greatest mysteries do not always lie among the stars. Sometimes they sit quietly beneath our feet. Kola didn't just make us question the universe. It made us question ourselves, our endless curiosity, our hunger to touch the forbidden, our pride in the limits we pretend don't exist. And when we reached those limits, we didn't see a demon staring back. We saw our own reflection, small, confused, standing before something we never truly understood. The terror of this journey wasn't that they found hell. It's that they found truth, and the truth showed us how little we know about our own planet. Because sometimes what frightens us most is not the darkness below, but the darkness inside our knowledge. From that moment forward, the question was no longer, is hell down there? It became, are we prepared for what lies even deeper? Not screams, not fire, not demons. What they discovered beneath the earth was nothing like the nightmares we imagined. No tortured souls, no flames, no monsters rising from the abyss. What they found was something far more unsettling, the truth. And the truth was stranger than myth. Because the first shock came quickly. When they reached the deepest layers, the rock was nothing like the textbooks promised. Where there should have been a clear boundary between granite and basalt, there was none. Just granite, stretching down deeper than anyone expected. Decades of geological certainty shattered in an instant. The neat diagrams, the layered drawings we teach in school, gone. The earth was not simple, not orderly, not obedient to human logic. It was bigger, wilder, and far more mysterious than we imagined. And then came the water. 4 kilometers down, they found water. Not rainwater, not melted ice, but water squeezed out of minerals under impossible pressure. The earth was creating water in the dark, in silence, under crushing heat. If a planet can give birth to water, could life begin there too? Not in sunlight, but in darkness, in places we once believed life could never exist. Then came the fossils, locked inside ancient rock, older than any ocean, older than trees, older than life as we know it. Microscopic fossils, creatures so small, so ancient, sealed away in stone for billions of years. No sunlight, no oxygen, no oceans above them. Yet they had lived. If life can leave its mark so deep beneath the earth, then what else lies hidden below? What stories remain buried in places we have not touched? A bold question emerged. Perhaps life did not begin on the surface. Perhaps life rose from the deep, from fire and darkness, not from sunlight. If that's true, we don't just rewrite the textbooks. We rewrite our origin. And then came the sounds, not drilling, not metal bending, but strange echoes. Murmurs rising from the deep, whispers in stone, the slow breath of a world that has existed far longer than us. Even with science to explain it, the men who heard it felt chills crawl up their spines. Because sometimes, no matter how rational we are, we cannot silence the voice inside that whispers, something is down there and it's watching. The legend ignites. Soon after, a recording spread across the world. Agonized screams, echoing like souls trapped in fire. People called it the well to hell. It was a hoax, a cruel blend of fear and imagination, a radio stunt, a myth born from superstition and thrill. And yet, the story spread like wildfire, not because it was true, but because people wanted it to be true. Because if hell is below us, then the universe feels easier to understand. Good versus evil, light versus darkness, heaven versus hell. But the real world is harsher. The Earth does not care about us. It does not hide hell. It is its own world, one we barely understand and may never fully conquer. So the question was never, is hell down there? The real question is, how many secrets lie deeper than 12 kilometers? And do we have the courage to keep digging? We stood before that hole, listening to the rumble rising from the deep, and even knowing it was only pressure, only the earth shifting beneath itself, a shiver still crawled up our spine, not because we heard screams, but because, in that moment, we realized something deeply human. We fear the empty spaces in our knowledge, more than we fear the darkness underground. And that fear, that instinct to fill the unknown, is how hell was born. Not as punishment, not as myth for children, but as a story to protect our minds from the silence of the unknown. Because for us, the most terrifying thing is not evil, but nameless mystery. It's easy to laugh at the gate to hell, easy to dismiss it as superstition, as a radio hoax, as a dramatic tale spun from fear. But if we're honest, somewhere inside each of us, there is a quiet whisper asking, what if, just maybe, it's real? Hell didn't rise from the ground. It rose from the human imagination, a mirror of the fear we carry in our bones. A fear older than science, older than religion, older than language. When we cannot understand, we invent meaning. We create demons because it is easier to fight monsters than to face the vastness of the unknown. When people said they heard screams from Kola, they weren't hearing tortured souls. They were hearing their own fear echoing back at them. The legend spread, not because it was true, but because people wanted it to be true. Because if hell lies below us, then at least the universe has rules, good and evil, light and dark, heaven and hell. A universe with order feels safer than a universe of endless questions. But the truth is colder than fire, more unsettling than demons. The earth does not care about us. It does not guard hell. It is its own universe, ancient and indifferent, older than every story we've ever told. And that is far more terrifying. When I look at the Kola hole, I don't see a gate to hell. I see the smallness of our species. I see the arrogance we carry when we believe we've mapped the universe. And I see the moment we hit the bottom, not of the earth, but of our understanding, and realize there is still more darkness than light. Down there, beneath heat and pressure, we did not find flames or demons. We found ourselves fragile, curious, and full of questions with no answers. So the question is no longer, is hell down there? Instead it becomes, when we drill deeper, what will we find? Truth or a version of ourselves we are not ready to face. And if you ask me, what lies below 12 kilometers? I don't know. No one does. But sometimes it isn't the answers that pull us forward. It's the beautiful, terrifying mystery waiting in the dark. We reached 12,000 meters, a tiny number on the scale of the universe, yet monumental for humankind. And then we stopped. Not because our ambition died, but because technology, and perhaps something inside us, wasn't ready to go further. But imagine a future where steel does not bend under heat, where sensors do not shatter under pressure, where our machines can breathe in fire and think faster than fear itself. Imagine a day when humanity can drill 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers, deep enough to touch the mantle, that glowing river of molten rock, the Earth's slow, eternal heartbeat. What would we find? A hidden biosphere, alive in absolute darkness, forms of life unlike anything we know, a new kind of energy, a story written in stone, long before life ever walked this planet, or perhaps something more humbling, the edge of our understanding, a boundary not meant to be crossed, where nature whispers, enough. There are doors in this universe that open so may enter, and there are doors that open only to test whether we have the humility to stay outside. We have touched the bottom of the ocean, walked upon the moon, and cast our dreams toward Mars. Yet beneath our feet lies a world we have barely brushed with our fingertips, a realm that has never seen the sky, never heard the wind, never known light, yet holds the oldest memories. Our planet possesses perhaps the greatest secret of humanity, was never in the stars above us, but in the burning darkness below. And if one day we return to that hole, not to prove hell exists, but to answer a deeper question, who are we in this universe? then I believe we will not be drilling into the earth alone. We will be drilling into the history of life, the limits of knowledge, and the shadows where fear and hope share the same heartbeat. Maybe we will find answers. Maybe we will find danger. Or maybe, as in every great journey humanity has taken, we will simply find ourselves again. Look up, and the universe feels infinite. Look down, and the earth feels just as vast. And between those fluidities, we stand, small, yet bold enough to ask, are we truly ready to dig deeper? If the answer is yes, then the greatest journey humanity will ever take has not even begun.